Hi everyone, it's Nicole and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm creating another entry into my September Traveler's Notebook. This month the Traveler's Notebook kit and collection that I am using is the August kit, which is the Daisy Fields kit from cocoadaisy. For this spread I am documenting all about my son and my husband. They are both volunteer firemen and they did something this day that was new to my son, so I wanted to document that moment and memory. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to keep the right side simple in the very beginning. I love this strip of almost like watercolor brush swatches that was included in the rub-on transfers. And I really liked how the blues and the oranges and the corals in that strip picked up the colors in this 3x4 card that I pulled from the pocket card add-on. It matched the colors in it perfectly, and I thought, well, let's just create a center stripe down the page, cut off the yellows, the greens, and the purples, and then everything ties together super well. I use this card as my title card. It says, when you're curious, fun has a way of just showing up, which was perfect explanation for this day. But there was another photo here that I wanted to include on this spread. So what I did was I took the 3x4 card and just glued 3 sides of it down to my page. That way I could create a pocket for it. So in that pocket I'm creating this tag, which was another 3x4 card that I cut down. On one side has a group photo of everyone that was there, and then on the other side of it I will date stamp the top of it there in that little box. And then I will add my journaling down below here a little bit later on. I like the versatility of notebooks in using the 3x4 cards and pulling them into my spreads because of this. I think that when you have a large photo that you want to include, this is one of the good ways to go ahead and include additional photos and journaling by still having that large title on that opposite page. So I was kind of torn as to what to do for embellishments. I really like the cardstock sticker embellishments that are included this month, but they didn't seem to go with my photo. So what I ended up doing was taking this stamp set. The stamp set has a cute daisy in it, and I ended up stamping it 5 times with a archival waterproof ink onto some mixed media paper. It's a Strathmore mixed media paper, and I ended up taking some time to watercolor them. This did take a little bit of time, not so much to watercolor, but I ended up fussy cutting all 5 of these out. It probably took about a half an hour total. But I absolutely love how this worked out, and it's another one of those ways where you can stretch your stamps and your stash so that you can keep creating different and more spreads, even if you run out of your ephemera pieces. So what I'm doing is I have this palette that's set up. This is a Mission Gold watercolor palette, but there are, you can see there in the centers on the left and the right, there are some swatches or samples of some other watercolor paints that I have from my collections that I keep in tubes. And these are colors in addition to my Mission watercolors that I seem to grab for, so I kind of just created one larger palette. So when I did the daisies, I wanted them to be not so bold in color, so I painted the petals an extremely light blue, just enough to make it look a little bit different than the white of the paper. And then the centers of them I did orange, and you guys, I absolutely love how this turned out. I decided to go with a cluster at the bottom of this card to weigh down and to kind of give that title almost like a ground to stand on. I did try to incorporate the puffy stickers that came into this kit, but the coloring was a little bit different than from what I had watercolored mine to be. So I end up removing that one there and putting it back on the sheet. But at this point, I got kind of stuck because I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with it. So I found the arrow and that little splotches on the rub-on sheet, so I knew I wanted those, so I went ahead and added those, and then just took a minute really just to think about it. And that's when I decided that it was really that puffy sticker that just wasn't working for me, so I pulled it off, rearranged my little cluster there, and then glued everything down. I did walk away at this point because it needed something else, but I didn't want to overdo it. So I ended up using that September's Memories banner and adhered that down towards that cluster, and then just use the red rub on the top of it. And then just as a couple other little added embellishments, I pulled out that little adorable bee in his little trail. And I added one set of him down in the bottom left, one by the heart, and then again another one on the top left. And that is going to wrap up this spread. I do go ahead and wiggle that little cut off piece back in there because I try to use all of my little bits that I have. So it does finish up my spread. I am going to add in a couple enamel dots and then call it done. I will leave a link down below for the Cocoa Daisy website if you are interested in their subscriptions. That way the information will be there for you. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and please hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you're notified if you are coming back. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Make sure that you also hit that bell so that you're notified every time I upload a video. Thanks everyone so much for stopping by today. I hope you've had fun and I hope you've been inspired. Bye.